Hello and welcome back to the Literature Therapy. Yesterday we talked about what bibliotherapy is. Today I want to talk about something I see happen quite often whenever people first encounter the word. They immediately assume they're doing it wrong, or that they need some kind of expertise before they can begin. A reading list, a methodology, a certification, a therapist, a complicated notebook system involving colored tabs and a degree of organizational commitment that frankly sounds exhausting. And I understand why. The moment something gets a formal name, people tend to assume it must also have formal rules. But bibliotherapy is actually much less intimidating than it sounds. In fact, I think most people have already spent years practicing some version of it. They just never called it that. For example, imagine someone going through a difficult period. Nothing dramatic necessarily. Maybe they're grieving something, maybe they are burnt out, maybe life simply feels strange in that vague way that is difficult to explain properly to other people. And during that period, they find themselves returning to a particular book. Not because someone prescribed it, not because a reading challenge recommended it, not because the algorithm told them to, because something about that book feels useful. Maybe it helps them think, maybe it comforts them, maybe it gives them language, maybe it simply keeps them company. That's bibliotherapy. At its most basic level, bibliotherapy is just paying attention. Paying attention to your relationship with what you read, what draws you in, what stays with you, what you keep returning to, what you avoid, and what certain books seem to know about you before you know it yourself. The reason I think beginners sometimes become intimidated is because they imagine bibliotherapy starts with finding the right book. I don't think it does. I think it starts with noticing what is already happening. Take rereading, for example. Most readers have at least one book they return to repeatedly, something every few years, sometimes every year, sometimes often enough that the spine has essentially entered retirement. And usually, when people talk about these books, they talk about them almost apologetically, as though rereading somehow counts less than reading something new. I've never really understood that. Because if a person keeps returning to the same book for 15 years, that book is clearly doing something. The question is, what? What does it provide? Comfort, perspective, recognition, structure, hope, a sense of familiarity. Those questions are often more interesting than discussions about how many books somebody finishes this month. The same thing applies to journaling. People sometimes assume bibliotherapy requires elaborate reflective exercises, and certainly those can be useful, but sometimes bibliotherapy looks like reading a chapter, closing the book, and writing half a page about why a particular sentence won't leave your mind alone. That's it. No framework, no special expertise, just curiosity. One of the reasons I wanted to create this channel is because I think reading has become strangely performative online. Everything has to be optimized, systemized, turned into content. Even reading, which is one of the few activities that benefits enormously from slowing down. Bibliotherapy asks us to move in the opposite direction, to become less concerned with efficiency and more concerned with attention, less concerned with quantity and more with relationship. Because the truth is that the most useful book for your life right now may not be the most famous book. It may not be the most acclaimed book. It may not even be the objectively best book. It may simply be the one speaking to whatever is happening inside you at this particular moment. And that changes. A book that means nothing to you at 25 may become enormously important at 40. A book that once helped you may eventually stop helping you. Both are normal. People change, readings change too. This is why I get slightly suspicious whenever someone asks for a universal bibliotherapy reading list. I understand the impulse. Everyone wants a starting point. But bibliotherapy is fundamentally personal. The right book for one reader may be entirely wrong for another, which means the practice begins not with prescriptions but with awareness. What are you reading? How does it make you feel? What keeps resurfacing in your thoughts afterwards? What books do you trust? What books challenge you? What books seem to arrive at exactly the right moment? That's where bibliotherapy starts. Not with expertise, not with credentials, not with a bookshelf designed to impress visitors, just attention. And if you already read and occasionally stop to think about what your reading is doing to you emotionally, then congratulations. You've probably already begun. You just didn't have a name for it yet. Anyway, tomorrow we'll talk about something slightly more practical. Until then, tell me, how do you actually choose books for your different emotional needs? It's a complicated question with a complicated answer, or it could be just as simple. I'll wait for your answers. I'll come back tomorrow. I hope you do too.